Anyways, all right. Speaking of jumping ahead, Constantine. I
Yes.
mean, that's going to be moving ahead a number of years because I was looking at pictures from that movie, the Keanu Reeves movie, and
Mhm.
he looks quite young yet there. And you
Mhm.
don't think of Keanu Reeves as looking old, but he definitely is older than he was then.
Oh, yeah.
And
He's
yeah,
aged. I mean, well, but he's aged, like, you know.
yeah.
So, and he is definitely, like, he is not peak Keanu Reeves, I think, fitness in Constantine. He's got a little, like, baby fat going on his face, like, he's a little
Well,
smooth.
he's a young man yet, you know? He's
Yeah,
just like
I mean,
you
he's
get a
not
little
he's
more
not
chiseled if
soft, he's
you
not doughy,
yeah.
but, like,
No.
you can just tell he's got, like, some baby fat going on because he's young.
Okay. Okay.
So, and that doesn't, I don't think, take away from, like, the hardness of the character. I think he's just got, like, young face.
Yeah.
So, yeah,
I
it's gonna
mean,
be interesting to, like, leap forward, and how
mhm.
are they gonna explain this leap forward, because the movie ends at a very, very specific moment.
Um, very specific moment. I don't know what you mean by
Yeah.
that.
I mean,
Are
like,
you
he's ending at a very specific moment of, like, crossroads choices, like, how is his life moving forward? So I'm very
okay?
interested to see, like, what track it's gonna take.
Okay.
I mean, can I spoiler Constantine? Can I do that? Can I?
I think so. It's been a
Okay.
long time.
So yeah, so the movie ends where, like, he gets saved at, like, the very last minute. He's, like, about to be drugged down to hell, and he's like, "Cool, sacrifice, see ya." Um, and then last minute gets, like, the miracle save and the sort of, like, slate wiped clean of, like, his years of hard living. So he gets this, like, choice, like, "Okay, are you gonna take advantage of this now, or are we gonna, like, fall back into our old ways?" And I'm
Mhm.
just sort of interested to see where this movie starts him out after a
Right.
time jump. Like, did he do something? Did he, like, move forward with the, like, "All right, fresh start," or was it like, "Screw 'em a fresh start. Like, I don't give a shit."
Well, if they're true to Constantine, it will be the latter,
I know.
I would say. So,
But although
um,
that wouldn't exactly, you wouldn't exactly feel like that would lend itself to Constantine becoming an old man. Like, that's not a I'm looking to see my aged years kind of
well,
lifestyle. I
maybe
mean,
he
no, I'm
cut
not saying Keanu Reeves is, like, 80, but I'm just saying, like, playing
well,
fast and loose with your life doesn't exactly say, "I wanna live to reach 50" either.
sure. I will say though that I mean, genetically, it seems to impact people differently
Sure,
pretty heavily, and he had his basically lungs cleared. The
sure.
devil himself took the tar from his lungs, and, so now he gets to start at, say, what? He's supposed to be in that movie, 30? He gets to
Mhm.
start smoking
Like,
over again at
baby.
30. He has, 20 years or whatever it was of, like, not having smoked now, basically.
Yeah.
So he gets to, you know and maybe he cuts back from, like, 3 packs a day to 1, I don't know. I don't
Yeah,
know.
we'll see. We'll
Yeah.
see.
Well, it's a surprising thing because so the original director is back,
Mhm.
supposedly to do this.
Keanu's back.
Yep. It's being produced by J.J. Abrams, which is weird because, to my understanding, he was trying to have made his own different Constantine thing.
Mhm.
Now, I don't know
Yep.
if that's been scrapped, if that's still happening. It would be weird to me to have both projects
Mhm.
that he's involved with. Um, I don't know. So it is shocking to me that this is coming back. Uh, i- are there people that like remember this movie fondly? I feel like there's already a
I do.
split. Well, I do too, which is shocking because this is a movie that is so deviates from the comics. But it's
Mhm.
kind of in that time period where we're just happy to be like, hey, our comic person is getting a thing,
Right.
Standards
And a
had
decent
not
thing.
yet been raised. Well, and I think the movie is really good. It
Mhm.
just changes a few fundamental things i.e., Constantine is not British nor
Right.
blonde. It
Right.
doesn't take place in England either. So, um, but the movie still feels like Constantine.
I was
I
gonna
think
say
that's where,
the important bit is it feels like the character.
yeah, and I think this is
Mhm.
what a lot of things miss. It's like sometimes they try to go literal and it still doesn't feel like the project, or they change it dramatically and they don't get any grace given to them because it really doesn't resemble the thing it's based upon.
Right.
This to me does resemble the thing it's based upon in a lot of ways and in a lot
Mhm.
of the ways that mean something, even though most people that were fans would argue that him being British is a pretty darn big element
Yeah.
to making the character what he is.
Yeah. And that's
So,
fair.
mhm.
That's fair.
It's a shock. This movie, it's a
I
shock that this is
I
happening.
do have to say though, from this particular standpoint, I'm so glad that if they were really set on Keanu Reeves being Constantine, they did not force him to try and do a British accent because his
Oh god.
accent is one of the worst parts of Bram Stoker's Dracula. It is, I mean, he knows it, everybody knows it. It's fine, but it's terrible. It's so 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 so
Can
bad.
we can we put a finer point on that and just say it is the worst part?
I
Like you
mean,
said one of, I think it maybe
yeah,
is the worst part.
that's fair. I can agree to that. I can agree to those terms.
Okay.
It really
Cuz I
is. It's
really
so
like that movie
terrible.
a lot, but yeah,
I do
it's not.
too. I really do. But yeah, no, he is that accent is just oh god, it's so painful every time he opens his mouth. Oh, and that's not something I want to say about Keanu Reeves. I
I
like
know.
him. I like his
I
acting
know.
in general. It's just that was terrible.
Yeah.
It was bad.
Mhm. Mhm. Yeah. I I usually try to watch that movie every Halloween. Like
Same.
that's yeah, that's one of
Yep,
the
that's one of my classics, my
go-tos.
staples.
Mhm.
Yep.